section here at Utah State. They will jump around for sure. UNLV and Utah State ready to go. Kevin Kruger in his first year, no stranger to UNLV, played there a year for his father, Lon. Of course, had a really nice run in Las Vegas and was an assistant the last 2 years. His lineup, though, hasn't changed. Donovan Williams, who averages 14 a game, is out for this one. And Dan Dickau, a lot is on Michael Nuga's shoulders.
Well, he's not new to the starting lineup. 8 starts on the season. He's a terrific shooter from beyond the three-point line.
Ryan Odom in his first year, of course, a terrific run at UMBC, including that incredible upset in the NCAA tournament as a 16 seed over #1 seed Virginia back in 2018. And his team is really starting to gel right now. They're without Brock Miller. He's out probably for another month. But Rylan Jones is back. He won't start. And away we go. Tempo of this ball game.
I think you're going to see a game that's played in the 70s. Neither one will get excited and really try to push the pace, but they're very willing to make plays for others. In particular, Utah State, where they average over 18 assists per game.
Every Aggie has touched the ball, some twice already in this possession. Horvath, good head fake, rising. That is a blocker charge. It is a charge. And that goes against Utah State.
That's the kind of start the Runnin' Rebels needed and wanted here in Logan, just to kind of quiet the crowd on the first possession. You mentioned Utah State getting that ball moving side to side. McCabe doesn't stay connected to his own. He's in great help side position, takes a charge. Good start for UNLV.
And of course, UNLV's offense, certainly Hamilton dominates at times, but even without Williams now, we'll see if Bryce Hamilton can take it up a notch.
We were at shoot-around this morning. Utah State really worked on containing Bryce Hamilton in pick-and-roll situations.
That's McCabe, the point guard transfer from West Virginia. Drive there. And Royce Ham Jr., the Texas transfer, misses. Second touch for Utah State. Justin Bean. This is Horvath, who came over from UMBC. Ashworth has played so well in the last 4 games. He can shoot the 3. And a 3-0 start for Utah State.
Shoot the 3 is right at 40% on the season. He and Rylan Jones make a terrific backcourt in terms of ball handling and decision making.
This is Victor Iwako, who's also in the starting lineup. And Iwako gets in and lays it off the glass.
Iwako provides a defensive presence and an ability to really rebound outside of his area.
Bean, Mr. Everything to this program. Idle Rock, also a UMBC transfer, and his game is really elevated.
That is Utah State's dribble drive action to a T. They want to get the ball in the paint and play off of 2 feet. Edelrock, a nice job there of being patient when his drive was stopped.
Hamilton around the screen. We saw Horvath waiting for him to come around the bend. Ham just backing in hard. Buckets up and in. And a foul. I think it was before the shot.
His first 17th foul.
Royce Ham provides the first bit of contact. Edelrock called on the second or third bump, but so far the officials are letting him play. I like it.
McCabe had a really good 3-point shooting game his last time out in the win over rival Nevada. Wow, Ham, not afraid to shoot the 3. He's 41% from distance, transfer from Texas.
Never really was able to get comfortable in Austin, but he's making the most of things here for the Runnin' Rebels.
Well, they have like an NBA caliber front line in front of him.
They got 10 new players, 9 transfers, 4 of them from the Big 12. So lots of talent on this roster.
Bairstow's such a unique player.
He's finally coming into his own. Struggled with some injuries early in this season, but 7 of the last 8 games in which he started, he's scored in double figures.
Hamilton pumps one and buries it. That's a line drive 3.
The defender gets hung up on the screen. Horvath not comfortable switching out that far. Hamilton makes him pay.
Ashworth fouls. Nuga got him. Dan Dickau's keys to the game.
Well, UNLV, you must win the rebound battle. That's not as easy as said, because Utah State, great in that category, also needs to start hot. For Utah State, limit Bryce Hamilton, who's on a scoring tear, and spread the wealth. We mentioned over 18 assists per game on the year. They do a terrific job of making plays for others.
Horvath, and he's fouled. Speaking of spreading the wealth, that's a great example of self-scouting. Ryan Odom told us when they opened the season at 1-5, they took a long, hard look at what they were doing. He said there was too much isolation, and all of a sudden it was like, guys, we need to spread the ball. We need to pass the ball. We need everybody to touch it.
And that's a big part of understanding your roster as a coach, as well as a player, understanding your role. Justin Bean continues to improve in his time in college basketball, but he does it off opportunities as Jordan McCabe knocks down the opportunity jumper. But Justin Bean is better when he just plays read and react basketball and not out of sets in isolation opportunities.
Both teams have started off hot here. UNLV 4 of 5, 3 of 4 for Utah State. Hamilton, the 42-point effort on the road at Colorado State, and a nice lob. Ham finishes.
That's a terrific pass from Hamilton. Usually when he's coming off pick and rolls, he's geared towards one thing, and that's scoring. But that ability to throw the lob to Ham is impressive.
Bean splits the double and is fouled on a reach.
Bryce Hamilton makes all the right plays. You mess up a screen, he'll knock it down from deep. But don't sleep, he will also find others.
College basketball presented by Chase Freedom Unlimited. What a start by UNLV. Bryce Hamilton and company here. They're getting points from everybody right now, but they always get about 20 a game from this guy.
He is a premier scorer, as evidenced by his recent tear in Mountain West play. You go into Fort Collins, Moby Arena, you drop 42 in an upset win, you're doing some things right. That's exactly what Bryce Hamilton did. His teammates sure enjoyed it as well.
Last 5 games, and you see the big number 42 there, and that's on the road against a great Colorado State team.
It's on the road. And the Mountain West, I don't think gets enough credit for how good the arenas, the fanfare is, the student sections. It's a difficult league to go onto the road and win games.
Now, a couple things to connect the dots. Donovan Williams is out. We told you that earlier. He's a valuable, valuable piece, the transfer from Texas. He did not play in that Colorado State game, and that was in Fort Collins, and without him, they won, and they won convincingly in that game.
It shows you some of the depth of UNLV starting to get comfortable in different roles. Donovan Williams had an 8-game stretch earlier this season where he scored over 20 a game, but when he's out, others can take his place.
Bean is open, missed the 3. Scholga's tip won't go, and Hamilton is away with the rebound. Royce Ham Jr. has 5 to lead UNLV. Hamilton splits the double. Right hand, no. Bean clears it. Hamilton went down. Rylan Jones is in for Utah State. Bairstow cutting. Corner. Horvath can shoot the 3.
What a luxury to have your 6'10" skilled 5 be able to space it to the deep corner in transition and knock down a 3. He has been a great transfer for Ryan Odom, even though Coach Odom is very well aware of his game, seeing that he came from UMBC with him.
Max Scholga with the armbar and the foul.
Get to space, hands and feet ready. On the catch, make your decision. If you're open, let it fly. Horvath knocks down the three.
He fits what Ryan Odom told us is his prototypical player that he wants to recruit here. And that's someone who can dribble, pass, and shoot.
And the next piece of that is knowing when to do either of those three. Unfortunately, in this day and age of basketball, you might be able to do all three, but not knowing when to do them can be a problem.
Kevin Kruger has a 10-man rotation. A lot of them are on the floor right now. Hamilton misses the jumper, the rebound. Back to UNLV. Hamilton spinning, Hamilton floating, Hamilton scoring.
He will not be denied. He is always in attack mode to get to that paint and score. Justin
Webster, David Mwaka, Reese Brown in the ball game right now. Jones misses. Bairstow rebounds. And Hamilton doing a nice job on the board. He's actually a good rebounding guard. Shoulder right now drawing the Hamilton assignment. Brown to Webster. Back to Hamilton. It's go time. Oh, wow.
He takes that long step to kind of gather himself. The defense slides by. Hamilton able to flip it up off the glass.
It's just like they drew it up, right?
Well, a lot of times, you know, they have an advantage because with shot clock winding down, Hamilton can create his own opportunities seemingly out of nothing.
Shulga driving, lost it. Webster up the floor. UNLV with a 6-point lead. Shooting the ball quite well. They're 7 of 9 from the field. Gilbert with the ball, one of their freshmen. Hamilton comes to retrieve the ball. This time it's Bean's job. Hamilton. Gilbert got it off. No violation. Crowd thought it was. Missed on a three. And UNLV is doing a terrific job on the offensive glass.
I thought that may have been a shot clock violation. I didn't know if Gilbert got it off in time. Ryan Odom thinks the same. Great defense from Utah State. We get another look at it. Rylan Jones makes Gilbert double pump, and yes, should have been a shot clock violation. That being said, we got a great crew here, and I would not want to replace any of those three with making decisions today.
Webster kicks to the corner. Rising is Gilbert. And a flop warning after the shot on Keyshawn Gilbert's. Bryce Hamilton off to a great start.
Right? You are. Great start from Hamilton. We've got a good one in Logan. Hamilton, as creative a scorer as you can find.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Chase Freedom Unlimited. How do you cash back? By Old Trapper Beef Jerky. What's your beef? And by AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, and secure.
Utah State, now they were 1-5, but look where they are in the net ranking. They have surfaced below 50, which is a great sign for Ryan Odom and the Aggies. And they feel in the second half of the schedule, some of those close losses, and it feels like every one of their losses was a close loss. Some of those close losses they can make up for. The tight ones to Colorado State, Wyoming, Fresno, and Boise State.
There's 5 conference losses by a combined 19 points. They've obviously gotten themselves right. The last 4 games have all been wins, but that net is important to keep an eye out because they've got opportunities coming in. And Bean knocks down the mid-range jumper. The Aggies have opportunities for quad 1 and quad 2 wins coming up, which is important in the selection committee's eyes.
And your passion for passing is evident in Utah State on that possession.
Without a doubt. And Justin Bean does such a good job of getting in the vision of his teammates and being opportunistic with his cuts.
Nuga and Ham are back in, and Nuga getting to the rim. But it's an offensive foul.
Offensive foul.
Rylan Jones takes his 21st charge of the season, but that's a perfect replay example of Justin Bean getting in the vision of Horvath. Catch and shoot. So many young kids could learn a lot just by watching him off the ball. When he doesn't have it, it's constant movement. It's being opportunistic when a cut arises that he can make the most of.
And a great illustration of what you pointed out in read and react and what makes him so effective. Jones is doubled, Horvath is open, and he's fouled.
Such a luxury for Utah State to have Rylan Jones back after missing a few games in concussion protocol. The great pass there to Horvath as a cutter. I mean, we've mentioned it a number of times now, just their willingness, their ability to pass the basketball. They don't care if it gets stuck in an isolation set. They want to make a play for a teammate.
He's a unique guy. I mean, 6'10", 210, as you talked about, good three-point shooter. He's a career 1,000-point scorer with his nice run at UMBC. He was a first-team American East pick last year, almost a double-double. He's 13 points and 9 rebounds last year. And a perfect complement for Bean.
With the two transfers from UMBC, Horvath and Edelrock, it took Edelrock a little bit of time to get comfortable. Coach Odom told us that it was almost seamless for Horvath in his transition here in Logan.
Rylan Jones getting more and more time after coming off a concussion, and he missed 4 games. McCabe, interior to Ham. He's having a good, that's an offensive foul.
Offensive foul, number 14.
Max Shulga drew the charge.
16th foul. Now
He's definitely given up some size. Royce Ham, you've got to understand when you've got a size advantage, many times on that initial bump, at whatever angle you take, the smaller defender is going to take a dive. That's a questionable one.
And an expensive one for UNLV. Second on Ham.
And they need Ham to battle with Horvath underneath as well as Bean on the glass.
Dorius in, pick and roll. Bean in the lane, and he was shoved. Bean still sporting that shiner from the game a week ago. So it does, I have to say, Dan, look a lot better than we last saw him last Saturday in Reno.
Yeah, we had this Utah State team in Reno, and he was wearing a patch above the eye to keep the swelling down.
Utah State is an excellent free throw shooting team, 74%. And UNLV is pretty good, too, at 72.
And that's something to keep an eye on here in the Mountain West as we kind of battle out who's going to win the title as well as the Mountain West Conference Tournament. Boise State currently in first place, but they are in the bottom 5 in the country in free throw percentage. So you got to think that at some point that may catch them in a close game.
You see the drought for UNLV. Utah State back even at 16. Josh Baker, he's been out with some concussion issues for UNLV. Hamilton, Bean, trying to flatten him out. Shot clock is down. Baker kicks, got to get it up. McCabe launches. Oh! That's Kevin Kruger range.
You like his coach able to knock it down. And when Jordan McCabe can consistently knock it down from the three-point line, I think it adds a huge dimension to this running Rebel team. That's not a normal three, but when he's aggressive looking to it, I think he's an impact maker.
That's a normal dunk right there from Dorius.
Screen roll, help side is nowhere to be found. Dorius, a nice job of keeping it high and quickly getting to his finish.
McCabe, pick, roll, nice feed, and that's a flush. Wow, Muwaka. And UNLV's offense is clicking right now, too. This is a good offensive ball game so far. Bean lost it, and it's off his hip.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than to be good. Shot clock winding down, errant pass. McCabe tosses it from the cheap seats, and on the very next play, tremendous pick and roll action to find McCabe.
He's a good example of a guy who was playing at West Virginia, wanted a chance for a bigger role. I mean, he was playing about 12 minutes a game. Came to UNLV just for that, and a chance to play certainly for Kevin Kruger too. McCabe again, and that one was way off. Bean with a rebound. Ashworth is back in. Now it's Idle Rock who draws that assignment. They've really switched defenders on Hamilton as best they can. Remember, no Donovan Williams, who's averaging 14 a game for UNLV. McCabe, that was a mess. Ashworth, Hamilton on his trail. Bean cutting.
Well, Ashworth didn't like hearing the footsteps of Hamilton behind him. Veers out in transition. Good recognition to find Bean as the trailer.
Jones. Utah State, a nice run and a 1-point lead. Now it's Ashworth who's trailing Hamilton.
You beat me to it, Rich. I was just going to say they have had about 4 different defenders on Hamilton so far, and they've changed pick and roll coverage, trying to give them different looks.
Hamilton missed the 3. Rebound kick out. Baker. The cries of Bean echo through the arena. That's a moving screen on Dorius and a Utah State foul.
Go from one end of the floor to the other. Ashworth the steal to Bean, and then Rylan Jones getting in on the action. We've got a great one in Logan.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network, presented by Chase Freedom Unlimited. That's a big hat. Student section here and a loud crowd. Utah State on a nice run. A 1-point lead over Bryce Hamilton and UNLV.
He's been on a scoring tear as of late in Mountain West play. He's gotten off to a nice start tonight. 7 points, 3 of 6 from the field. And they are earned buckets because Utah State is locked in on him. They've switched defenders multiple times. He's always having to play in a crowd. If UNLV is going to come in here and get this win on the road, as they did in Colorado State earlier in the week, Bryce Hamilton is going to have a good game.
Dan, you know this, and for Kevin Kruger, it's great to have a 20-point scorer on your team. But sometimes it can be a challenge to build a cohesive team around that score, and it feels like UNLV is arriving at that point.
I think you're right, and I think a lot of it is due to, Bryce Hamilton, preseason Mountain West player, all-league player. He flirted with the NBA draft, came back. There's lots of new transfers. So he wants to keep building his resume, so to speak, for the next level. But Kevin Kruger's more interested in winning. Guys are starting to buy in. Things are looking really good in Vegas.
That's a contested shot. Ashworth pushes. Idle Rock feeds. Horvath. Smaller man. Foul. Shot was blocked. And free throws coming.
Number 15, Maurice Brown. His second 8-team foul. At the free throw line. Brendan Horvath.
And it's going to send Horvath to the line. This is, and we know that this is one of the great home court advantages, especially in the West. But the Mountain West right now, with the teams that are hot, the home court scenes have been incredible. Court storming last night with that thrilling win by Colorado State as they took down San Diego State by a point. And then Laramie, Wyoming has just been off the charts with their win over Boise State the other night. Of course, San Diego State has the great student section, and they routinely sell out.
You go up and down the teams and schools in this league, and there are great home court advantages. New Mexico, when they get things going in the right direction again under Richard Pitino, that is one of the great college basketball settings as well.
McCabe off the pick. Hamilton spinning on Ashworth. He's fouled. Shot is blocked. And Hamilton going to get to the line. In the game where he scored 42 points, he did a lot of damage at the line. He drew 8 fouls and hit 11 free throws.
And that's one thing I think that separates him from a lot of college players that can score is he's able to get cut off on his dribble drive penetration, and he can spin off of contact, yet then he's strong enough to initiate the contact and be able to play through that contact and score or draw the foul. He has been tremendous this season. Senior lefty from Pasadena. He's starting to rack up the accolades.
Yeah, National Player of the Week. It's been a long time since a running Rebel has had that. And a couple free throws, and UNLV pops back on top.
And this is a proud running Rebel basketball program. 6th most wins by percentage in Division I history.
Bairstow. Horvath. Idlerock. Shot clock down. Bairstow. Yes!
As sweet as a honey bear. Banks to the basket is good. And the foul is on number 12, David Milwaukee. His first 19th
A strong attack from Bairstow, and somehow able to switch hands and get it to drop.
He's a different type of player than his brother. Of course, Cam was a terrific player at New Mexico a while ago, still playing professionally in Australia. He's made some big strides in his game. Keyshawn Gilbert back in for UNLV, along with Hamilton and McCabe in the backcourt. Milwaukee comes for a screen. McCabe, a no look. Hamilton forced it. Got it. Bats Gilbert. Held ball, and UNLV will keep it.
UNLV ball.
World's best bull riders go head-to-head in the Ariats Invitational in Milwaukee. Don't miss PBR Unleash the Beast tomorrow night, 8 Eastern on CBS Sports Network. We are in Logan, Utah, home of Utah State. Utah State has had a terrific run the last 4 years in the Mountain West. Mountain West championships, trips to the NCAA, 2 NBA players, of course, and Sam Merrill and Nemish Keita. Hamilton falling away, missed the jumper.
Oh, great defense there from Ashworth, able to climb underneath and use his quickness.
Hamilton fouled him, no bucket.
Foul is on Bryce Hamilton.
The whistle was right about there. And you see a couple steps before the gather.
R.J. Idlerock.
R.J. Idlerock. English out of London, and a notorious slow starter. In fact, Ryan Odom said when he was a freshman at UMBC, he didn't even play in the first 10 games of his freshman year. Then got a few minutes, and then got a few more, and by the end of the year, he was starting.
That's been almost replayed to a T here in Logan. He told us in that same conversation, he is now becoming a voice that everyone trusts, but he didn't want to step on others' toes early on.
And in the absence of Ryland Jones and Brock Miller in that 4-game win streak, Idlerock, Max Scholga, those were 2 guys that really emerged and had big contributions. Biggest lead for Utah State in a tight game. Under 5 minutes left first half. Driving is Webster, and on the ground, or count it. Basket's good.
Webster, a terrific transfer from Hawaii, where he averaged about 12 a game a season ago. Still trying to find his way here in UNLV, but that gives you a glimpse of his burst of athleticism to the rim.
It's the thing about many of these transfers from UNLV. They weren't stars, you know, national stars. But Webster was a co-captain at Hawaii. He averaged 12 a game. I mean, Michael Nuga, coming from Kent State, 18 points a game. David Muwaka was the Southland Conference Defensive Player of the Year. That's a really nice bench. Horvath. McCabe. Now with Hamilton out, interesting to watch UNLV's offense and how they operate. McCabe behind the back. Baker misses the three. Shulga seems like he's at full tilt every time he touches the basketball. Baseline drive draws the foul and the contact. And a timeout. 3:51 left first half, a 1-point Aggie lead. One-point game, Utah State. Boot, scoot, boogie in process. AT&T at the half. Brent Stover, Chris Walker, John Rothstein, and Seth Davis catch up. And all the highlights and the scores from a busy college basketball Saturday. And an update on a Mountain West game going on right now. San Jose State and Boise State. It's coming up, AT&T at the half. Foul trouble, Dan Dickow. And the first three names on that list are starters for Kevin Kruger.
It's going to be interesting to see how Coach Kruger manages this last 3 minutes, 51 seconds with those four having two fouls. I would imagine slow the pace just a little bit, possibly go to a zone, although that's not a big part of what they do defensively. But in particular, you want to keep Bryce Hamilton away from picking up his third.
And you got to play, I would think, pretty, I don't know if the word is cautious, but you got Hamilton on the floor now, and you're just under 4 minutes, so you're going to have to trust your veteran scorer.
You do, and that's easier said than done. Because he's always in attack mode, Utah State has shown the ability that they're willing to step in front and take charges.
Yeah, I think they have almost the nation's leader in drawing charges in Rylan Jones, who's already drawn one tonight. Jones not on the floor right now. Max Shulga, a sophomore out of the Ukraine, played in the international tournament, the under-20 Ukrainian team, makes one of two.
This Utah State team very well represented internationally with players from 7 different countries.
McCabe calling for the ball. Ashworth is the one trailing Hamilton. Got in a good position, and he scores. That's a really nice find from the top of the lane.
That's a great pass, great catch, and then the patience from Hamilton. The easy thing would have been just to quickly get rid of it, and UNLV goes to his zone, as I mentioned, but it doesn't matter because Justin Bean, again, finds an open opportunity.
His three-point shot is not pretty, but man, has he improved, as he's well over 40%, and that's not anywhere near where he was early in his career. Bean, he brought that pivot foot up off the floor.
Get a chance to take a look at this last bucket from UNLV. Bryce Hamilton, who is here, is on a curl cut. The pass gets delivered as we roll it in here. On the catch, he is surrounded by 1, 2, 3 Utah State players. He's patient enough to let the mess disperse and go up for the finish.
And Utah State turns it over. If you're just joining us, Utah State is red hot. They've won 4 straight. They're 5-5, and they've surfaced in the top 50 of the net. UNLV has won 3 of 4. They're playing without one of their best players, Donovan Williams. But remember, they won on the road at Colorado State and beat them by 14 without Williams 2 games ago. McCabe is fouled by Jones.
Foul is on the Yankees, Ryland Jones. His first 8th team foul.
8th team foul, first personal. Jones not at the disposal of Ryan Odom for a good couple weeks after concussion. And McCabe drills that free throw. McCabe was brilliant against Nevada. I mean, he did everything really well. 16 points, 4 assists, 3 steals, 4 threes. As you noted, when he's an offensive threat, it changes the dynamics of their offense.
UNLV staying in his zone, as mentioned, try to keep Hamilton and a couple others out of that opportunity to pick up their 3rd foul.
Ashworth.
Steven Ashworth.
One way you beat a zone is dribble penetration, put him in rotation. The other is just quick decisions, passing it around the horn. Swing from Utah State, knockdown 3 from Ashworth.
Lead is 4. McCabe. Now here's Hamilton. Remember, he's got 2 fouls. And Jones, that inside arm, got into Hamilton.
Get another chance to look. Ball goes inside. Horvath back out to Ryland Jones. A quick decision. Ashworth with the tremendous footwork to be prepared, and then the quick trigger release. Looks like he's enjoying it.
Ashworth has really elevated his game. He had to when he lost the 2 guards. He wasn't even starting. He was the 6th man. And with Jones out, Miller out, Ashworth emerged and really has had a nice 3-week run as Hamilton hits the first free throw.
Stay on the topic of Ashworth. I mean, he's grew up playing in a tremendous high school basketball program here in Utah, Lone Peak, which has contended for national titles over the years. But he's a great shooter. 27 points against Weber State, which is just down the road, in Ogden, where he hit 7 threes earlier this year.
Idle Rock driving. Back into man pressure for the running Rebels. Oh, Bean.
Oh, Bean with another triple.
He loads up and truly launches the ball. And they love him here, and they should. Talk about finding another dimension of your game. Justin Bean is now over 50% from 3-point this year.
And he doesn't have picture-perfect form, but what he has is consistent release. And that happens by repping it out and shooting it time and time again. The progress in his jump shot has been tremendous to see, freshman to now senior year.
Utah State now 5 of 9 from distance. UNLV 3 of 11.
A nice surprise defensively for them to go to a little 1-3-1 zone as well.
McCabe thought about a 3. Into the corner. Now he's got a clean look at one. And he buries it.
Good shot from McCabe, but tremendous job there from Justin Webster. They draw a crowd with dribble penetration, then find McCabe.
That wasn't swing, that was cross-court, cross-court.
That was drive and cross-court skip on target.
Horvath, tough catch, great block. Boy, Milwaukee. This shows why he was the Southland Defensive Player of the Year last year.
2 for 1 if they go quick. Doesn't look like UNLV is going to take advantage.
You see the shot clock, game clock. A 2-point game. McCabe draws the double. Someone's open. It's Webster. And Webster hits one.
With one basket by number 2, Justin Webster.
UNLV by a point. Final seconds, first half. Ashworth better get going. Bean, kick. Horvath. Yes!
Three-pointer at the buzzer. Jordan Horvath. And that's the end of the half. Our score, Utah State 40, UNLV 38.
a finish to the first half. UNLV knocks down back-to-back triples, but Brandon Horvath hits a three as the halftime buzzer goes off to send Utah State into the locker rooms with a 2-point advantage.
Wow. Talk about a beautiful half of offense. UNLV toe-to-toe with Utah State, and a 2-point Aggie leads. We'll send you Brent Stover and company in New York. AT&T at the half, right after these messages.